One of these films was made for the price of a takeout dinner and made over $1 million. Another launched Nolan's career from a $6,000 con job. One was shot in a convenience store while the filmmaker worked the register. These movies weren't supposed to work. But they didn't just work, they changed cinema. Made on a minuscule budget of $7,000 with a cast full of friends and family, Primer is a movie that is well known to committed fans of the sci-fi genre. It is recognized as one of the most realistic and mind-bending movies about time travel ever, posing a narrative that gripped the viewer with its cold, unpretentious complexity. Filmmaker Shane Carruth took up almost every major production role to create the movie, including writing, directing, editing, and even scoring. He also took up one of its two leading roles, with the other being played by David Sullivan. The movie follows the exploits of two engineers who moonlight as tech entrepreneurs who accidentally discover time travel. But the discovery only leads to unforeseen chaos, as the two friends struggle to control the chaotic repercussions of their own actions. Released in 1992, El Mariachi is the very first entry in Robert Rodriguez's famed Mexico trilogy, preceding the more famous Desperado, which starred Antonio Banderas. The movie stars Carlos Gallardo as the titular hero, before he became the iconic gunman of the second and third movies. Landing in a small Mexican town during his travels, the Mariachi is mistaken for someone else and pursued by a group of thugs led by a local drug lord. Defending himself against mortal threat and navigating the case of mistaken identities, he soon finds a real reason to fight against the drug lord after the love of his life is murdered. There is a surprising number of established and revered filmmakers today who broke through with cheaply made films that showcased their brilliance. Modern-day auteur Christopher Nolan is one of them, spending $6,000 of his own money to produce Following, his debut feature. A neo-noir crime thriller that was also written and shot by himself, the movie finds its protagonist in an aspiring young writer who takes up the habit of following strangers to find inspiration for his first novel. Before he knows it, though, he develops a relationship with one of his subjects and unknowingly becomes a pawn to the man's dark schemes. Following is a thrilling tale of criminal conspiracies and dangerous double-crosses, and demonstrates many of Nolan's famous signatures like non-linear narratives in a manner that has some craving for him to return to his low-budget roots. Famous surrealist David Lynch also broke through to the mainstream with a low-budget project that was so unique in its conception and execution that it remains one of his most famous projects. Eraserhead was funded partially by the American Film Institute and also supported by donations from friends, spending a couple years in development because of funding issues. An extremely surrealist movie taking place in a completely unreal landscape, its meaning has never been explained by Lynch himself, and continues to intrigue viewers who are enamored by its weird imagery. Tarnation is the best possible testament to the fact that good cinematic storytelling can shine even without an expensive production. The autobiographical documentary began its life as an 11-minute audition tape in which actor and director Jonathan Cowett delivers a monologue as a woman suffering domestic abuse. He went on to create an entire documentary on his own life, exploring his childhood and his unique relationship to his mentally ill mother, Renee. Edited using the free iMovie software that comes with a Mac, the movie would win the Best Documentary Award from the National Society of Film Critics and earned numerous other nominations. The movie even made $1.2 million at the box office. Low-budget productions is a long-standing tradition within the horror genre that has an enthusiastic following all of its own. It's interesting to note that some of the most iconic horror franchises of Hollywood started out as bootstrap productions themselves. While that list includes franchises such as Halloween and Friday the 13th, Paranormal Activity holds the title for the cheapest first title. Made for a mere $15,000, filmmaker Oren Peli had the ingenious idea of integrating its low-budget innovations into the plot itself. The end result was something that looked so genuine and realistic that it became an iconic title in horror cinema history. Although considered an auteur in his own right, Richard Linklater has mostly avoided mainstream box office success with his predilection for making low-budget movies about urban life. But his unique and experimental storytelling has made him a well-respected figure in cinema. Slacker is his second ever movie and has garnered cult classic status. The movie is very loosely structured and follows a group of youngsters around town as they engage in various conversations on topics from UFOs to joblessness. Linklater's Slacker became the inspiration for another popular filmmaker to start making movies. Encouraged by Linklater's confidence to make movies about normal life in his own hometown, Kevin Smith made his first movie, Clerks, in video stores where he had worked in real life. Written and directed by Smith himself, the black and white comedy delivers free-flowing conversations between two best friends, played by Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Anderson, during the course of a day of work as retail clerks. Another fantastic movie that revolves around freewheeling conversations, The Brothers McMullen is a comedy drama that explores the romantic lives of three brothers who are temporarily living together. Sweet and charming with its humor, the movie details numerous tomfoolish acts that the brothers engage in while navigating their romantic partnerships. It's an endearing look at the many mistakes that humans make in the course of navigating their romantic passions. Acts like cheating, romantic jealousy, and humorously immature retaliations come as par for the course. With filmmaker Edward Burns himself taking the role of one of the three brothers, the $25,000 budget of the movie was mostly spent on film stock and processing. It stood on the merits of its storytelling alone and won the Grand Jury Prize at the 1995 Sundance Film Festival and earned $19.3 million at the box office. A psychological thriller with sci-fi underpinnings, Coherence is popular for its unique and complex take on the idea of multiverses. Filmmaker James Ward Bierkett began working on the movie with the express intent of creating a stripped-down movie without a script. Instead of writing dialogues, he spent a year creating complex layers of interactions between its various multiverses, a process that paid off handsomely. The movie begins with a dinner party of 8 friends during a night that coincides with the passing of Miller's comet. Things quickly become tense as hidden conflicts between different characters rise to the fore. But they soon find themselves with an extraordinary problem on their hands after discovering a house nearby that seems to completely mirror theirs.